G.C.U.E.
The podcast you have been waiting for.
6 friends, 6 opinions, infinite laughs.
You're watching history in the making.
You don't have to open up your eyes, you can clearly see.
The number one podcast is GCUE. 20 years of brotherhood. The Q La Familia. Raw, uncut, uncensored, and unfiltered. Bub's opinionated. Why Eddie keep you laughing? Steve will get the tea while Shot tells us all what's happening. Spiritual or natural. I'm here for the thrills. And when it comes to PJ, y'all, please say the real. From quick hits, heavy lifting, the mass to the week. We getting ratings through the roof every time that we speak. PA, GA to the Aspens, turning podcasts into under-table has-been. Sports, entertainment, and current events. Sometimes we get pissed, so the crew got a vent. So when Friday night come, you know just what to do. Sit back, put up your feet, and now rocking with the Q. Once again, it's on, and you know who it is. It's your favorite podcast, GCUE, the one and only Q. And you are now rocking with the Q. That's GCUE, not to be affiliated with the magazine or the company. It's your boy Boog, straight out the 804. I'm going to go around with the fellas and get some intros. The usual suspects, as I like to call them. We're going to start with Bub. What's good, homie?
Shit, man. It's just been a while. Just glad to see everybody's back. We had a lot of people asking about where we've been. We all here. So, let's get on.
No doubt we're going to move over to Steve. Let's go. And there you have it. We're going to move up. Going to the real. When you see him in the street, you must say the real. PJ, let's go.
Yeah, I just want to address something. I think we've been out for a while. There's been rumors that I left to go to like the Joe Budden podcast. That's not true. I'm still rocking with the GQ podcast. There are a lot of offers out there, Breakfast Club and all that. I turned it all down. Still rocking with my boys.
Word, and we appreciate him for that.
Yeah.
Q Love Familiar. Now we're going to go on up to the Steelers fan and 2-time fantasy Q football champ, Eddie. What's really good?
I just want to say that I don't like PJ. I'm sorry, Pierre. Like, I just don't like him for real. I don't even know why he's still here. I think he should take the offers because we could replace him with somebody else. No, I'm playing because, we don't want you to go nowhere. It's the only time I'll be nice to you. I love you, homie. Oh, my God. We're glad that you're here. You complete us. We wouldn't be us without you. You know what I mean? What's up, everybody, man? I missed this, man. I'm excited to be back, though.
That was a hug fest. That was a hug fest. Hey,
I love y'all, man. You know that. Y'all my guys, man.
Here we go. One got a subliminal shot his name, and the other one said, I love you. Like, you know what I mean? Coming out of witness protection. Like, we got to do better. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm saying because, like, sometimes you got to be the adult in the room because he's supposed to be that. So I got to take the higher road on behalf of him. You know what I mean? Like,
no doubt.
Last but not least, we're going to go down to Mr. ATL Swab himself. Shot. Let's go.
Yo, for whatever reason, like the intro playing felt good. I don't know what that was about, but that was a vibe moment. So welcome back, fellas. Eileen, this is kind of great. We made it to season 4.
Oh, y'all all mush.
Oh, shut your ass up.
So
First of all,
that dog shit's out the window now. Fuck that.
Yo, like, who wouldn't think it's hot to have your own theme song, like on some real shit, like, you know what I mean? Like that, like, it feels good because it really is shit, like, you know what I mean? Like that's what it really is.
Yo,
you know what I mean? Like,
it's some 2023 and living color kind of shit. Like it sound right.
So, do what you want to do, bro.
Yeah.
Usually after lying talking about getting offers, like he the only one getting offers. Fuck that. We started drowning early, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was tension. We were going through a lot of stuff during this time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what it really was. It was negotiation. People wanted more money. More people want, you know what I mean? That's what happens with a whole bunch of black men. That's what y'all expect, right?
Right.
You thought it was the Joe Budden's podcast. It was the Trey Songz podcast.
Oh, come on.
Wow.
Y'all do me like that.
Stop before it started.
Oh, man.
This is like we got space for a producer, man.
Oh, my God.
The piss and hit podcast. You piss on people and hit them and shit. That's what they do on the Trey Songz joint.
All right, so.
How do you get... Oh, that's crazy. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying we jump back into like a great time in culture. So this is the 50th year of hip hop, which pretty much we were all raised in hip hop culture. So how do y'all feel like it? How do you feel like the culture affected or hip hop affected culture altogether? Because you know we got a room full of hip hop heads in here.
Yeah, I mean, I think for most of us, as a whole, hip hop was still relatively young as we were still coming up. You know what I mean? Even though it was, a few years, 10 or however many years before we were born, but it was still relatively new. We didn't even know what it was going to be. They didn't think it was going to last that long. You know what I mean? And it's continuously evolved. But I think during that whole time, it shaped who we are as people, period. You know what I mean? The whole entire culture, not just the music, but the whole entire hip hop culture shaped everything that we did.
Yeah.
Yep. Got bad knees and still wear Timbs every chance I get.
Right.
Same.
Right.
Same. I was wearing Timbs yesterday.
Yo, when you say that it shaped the culture though, so like, would you consider hip hop to be the most influential music of all time though?
Nah.
Why
I'll
not?
probably give it to rock and roll.
So,
Because hip hop is, has pieces from each culture, but then like we even got the whites doing it now. Like, you know what I mean? Like the whites wear J's, wear everything based off of how we rock. Hip hop, the music changed so much, the West Coast, East Coast, down south. So what you consider like maybe country might have had a decent pull, but we kind of still look at them like But I think hip hop in its totality, from the language, the way you dress, everything is like probably the most influential music of all time.
Yeah,
And it's only
a lifestyle. Yeah.
No, the culture, as a culture, yes, but in the culture is more than just the music. But I can't
But
say
that's
that
what I
the
mean.
music. I wouldn't say the music alone would be the most influential. Just because
No.
it's based on it was based on so many other things prior to it just being hip hop by itself. You know what I mean? Like think about
But that's
when
what
we first started, you were using break beats from
Right.
Whatever soul
Dancing.
records and things.
Like dancing, graffiti, every element of hip hop in its truest form. Like, you know what I mean? Because we're celebrating not just the music. We're talking about, like you said, it's the lifestyle. So that's what I'm saying. Like, is there anything more influential?
Oh, no,
than
not
hip-hop?
lifestyle.
Like, you know what I mean? Because, like,
Yeah, culture wise,
yeah,
yeah.
like, you know what I mean?
I guess, yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. In general, black people, like we run culture. So it's
I don't know if we run it.
not everybody would be us.
We just design it, and then they Columbus it.
Facts. Columbus.
That's all you're saying the same thing to me.
Nah,
From the planet.
that's right.
Basically.
I mean, that's a hell of a way to put it, but that's true.
From the planet. What was that? What was that?
Oh, from the land
you
of
said it came from the country of white.
country of white.
They
You gotta pronounce the H.
And Columbus it.
White.
White.
Yeah.
I mean, because when you think of hip hop in its early form, like DJ was saying, like they should wear like raccoon hats, you know what I mean, all kinds of different stuff. It's the spaceship shit, but like the evolution of where it's at. I mean, who would have thought? Like, you know what I mean, where it's like to what it is. Like, it's crazy. I think it's just the most influential music of all time. Because though jazz and like country and them had like, I just think like it didn't do what hip hop has done, and it's been in a short amount of time.
It's the only one we ain't lose yet. Since we lost rock and roll, we kind of lost jazz. We losing the blues,
Yeah.
and I mean, like, yeah. So we still have it.
It's weird though.
Do we?
It's weird though. It's
Now,
like
I
we
think-
haven't lost the visual, but I think we've lost the control.
I think the culture is the reason
We
why
never
we
had the
won't
control.
lose it.
That's
though.
what I'm saying.
It's still a
It's-
black culture.
But even
Like,
when
you get what I'm trying to say?
yeah, that's it's.
Go ahead, my fault. Go
I
ahead.
think when it fully commercialized and it goes from being street music to corporate music, I think that's where the control was lost. Because there was a point where like it wasn't about money; it was about doing what you do. And then when it became about money, it's like now they control how it's given back out to us, to the point where you turn on the streaming platform, you get what they want. Like ain't no DJ Clue tapes no more, so you ain't getting no underground shit no more. It's just
Oh fuck.
you get whatever you
I
get.
mean, it still survives. It's just that you have to support it differently. You have to find it yourself. It's still there. It's not mainstream. It may be not making the money, but you got to think people are are using this culture to better their lives. This is what you want to do for the rest of your life. So you're going to give up some control for the result being you making more money.
That's what I'm saying. It went corporate because it wasn't about the money. For instance, y'all watch that Nas documentary. Like I think Nas is one of the dopest rappers that never ran the money route. And a lot of other people they ran that money train. And it's just, I mean, it comes with the territory. So if they're going to throw it at you, I'm sure people want to go and try to get it.
No shot at Nas, but I don't think it's that he didn't run it, it's he couldn't.
I think he could.
No, he couldn't. He didn't have the appeal. Everybody doesn't have that appeal.
But it's not about the appeal in totality. It's about what you're willing to give up.
If nobody's willing to give him that, you know what I mean? Like I don't think Nas was a bankable commercial star, and that's not a shock to him.
No, it's not. That's not a shock.
He's just not. He just wasn't a bankable commercial star.
Would you say Jay-Z was a more bankable artist than Nas was?
I would say Jay-Z became more bankable
because he let it happen. It
He
wasn't
evolved.
because
I say no. It was the process. Actually, if you look at it, it was the process of evolution. He evolved. I mean, that's merely what it is. He used the street to get into the music. Used the music to get into the sports business. Used the sports business to get into other businesses. It's just like he evolved. Every level, he just kept shedding skin, going into something different avenues, different things. Then, if you realize, once he really got into the business aspects, he dropped all the gold chains. He stopped wearing the jerseys. He stopped doing all that. He did become more marketable. Boom, we're going to open up another door for you. And he can walk right through doors as long as he adapting and chameleonizing, which isn't even a word.
But just to ask you, go ahead. You got it. No, you good. Go ahead. Nah, I just think like Jay-Z was more consistent. That was he always said it. And then on the fact, like you know, Nas went with the old criteria of like maybe 2 to 3 years to make an album. Like Jay-Z said, I'm most consistent. Then on top of it, he was smart enough to bring along like Beans and them, so then they kept, you know what I mean, like being consistent. So if I don't have an album out, I'm on the Young Guns, I'm with Beans, I'm with Lee. So you would see him more, which, you know what I mean, was a hell of a strategy. But Jay-Z what I respected more about Jay-Z than maybe say a Puff, like y'all were saying before with hip hop, like Puff starts selling that dream of money and all that stuff like that. Like Jay-Z and them were talking about stuff that was still a little bit more relatable. Puff and them started doing all that shiny suit, extra stuff, music with Mace. Once Big was gone, it went to a different direction. And I think that's when a lot of, like you said, the corporate people started jumping on it even more. The Suge was still doing what he was doing, that, you know what I mean, the hard way. And he wasn't really trying to give it to the whites. You know what I mean? So I think like you got to look at people like Puff that kind of fucked it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you say like,
absolutely.
I don't think that Puff did anything wrong. I don't think Puff ruined music.
It's not ruining music. I think he just took. I don't think he ruined music.
Really?
I think he took hip hop off the street and put it in the corporate room.
Yeah, I don't think he ruined it.
He made it become more mainstream. Like, right? Is that what y'all basically trying to say? Like, he made
Became
it
less threatening.
It's hard to say he wrong.
Yeah, exactly. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah.
He commercialized it basically.
Yeah.
Nah, I wouldn't even necessarily say.
But I don't agree though. But that's what I was gonna say. I don't agree. But go ahead, PJ, because you wanted to state a point.
No, I'm saying like he didn't commercialize it. It's just it sounded like you said. I guess it made me sound less threatening. You know what I mean? He put on these
That's
you know,
commercialized.
right? No, yeah. I don't think it's commercial though.
So if it's not Puff, who would it have been? Who before Puff?
What that made it? MC Hammer. MC Hammer was commercial.
But
Are we calling MC Hammer a rapper?
Yes, we are calling him a rapper.
Absolutely.
Like,
MC
like
Hammer's going to crazy thing is, but MC Hammer, like you said, he was popular for mainstream, but like Puff was consistently mainstream. But like the difference was the artist. What I'm saying, like he had a formula. With Big, it didn't seem as commercialized because Big still had like a lot of.
What mainstream artists did Puff have?
Mace.
Like who?
Big.
No. Aside from like, so if you're not
Puff
putting
was
Big,
a mainstream artist.
but if you're not putting Big into that, right?
Nah.
I said Mace.
Puff.
Mason was 5 times platinum.
Nah,
DJ, because listen, at the same time that Puff was doing
You know he gonna defend Betha.
Right.
Yo,
Nah, because it's before
did
Betha
y'all see
though.
that? Did y'all see
Yo.
that Betha had his own day in Harlem the other day?
No,
Yeah,
Yeah, he got his own day. You know what I mean? Like,
they allowed
but
it
the
back.
thing is that Master P was coming out that same time, and they were playing regular street music. You know what I mean? And he wasn't, you know what I mean? He wasn't shooting for that same commercial sound. You know what I mean? He was doing the same thing as far as I'm just producing music, but I'm still gonna keep it street for my people type shit.
But I
You
think
know what I mean? But Puff went so over. Like this nigga was doing like, come on, man, he's doing all 80 songs with just loops. You know what I mean? And the difference between
club music.
nah, that shit wasn't. That shit was just shit music. Like I don't know what that shit was. Like man,
I think Puff with commercial on that P Diddy and the Family album and the Missing You track. So when you get on the Grammys and it's you on stage with a choir, and then you got Sting singing with you, at that point it's going commercial, and that shit went. It went.
I mean,
everywhere.
that was a dedication song to somebody.
Yeah,
that
it don't matter.
I can't
It doesn't
know.
matter. Like at that
The
point, it
songs
was
that went
acceptable.
commercial
Like
was the
because now we're not
Godzilla.
talking about.
That was
No,
trash.
but that was after. So it's
Right,
like now we're
same
talking.
time.
We talking about this dude that before that you're the threat of the East Coast because you and Big got this thing with Suge and Pac. Like they don't want to touch you. They don't want nothing to do with it. They don't want to fuck with you. Big's dead. You do this tribute. You pull Sting on, and now suddenly you're no longer harmful. You're no longer threatening to us.
That's not true because I feel like Big was going in that same direction.
Dude,
Life After Death had that same vibe.
But he was dead.
Of course, he had the hard tracks, right? But look at like a song like More Money, More Problems. That's a big commercial song.
That's one of the ones I was talking about. Commercialized.
It's the same vibe. And
I
guess
just
what?
wonder how much say he had in them. Like I know he recorded the verses, but I just
It still
wonder
comes out
how
on
much
Bad
say
Boy.
he had in them songs. Like the way they actually came out. Like
You mean
because because if you listen to Ready to Die, ain't nothing. I mean, like One More Chance would be the closest thing, and that wasn't.
But even that was
like,
still kind of that was
that was still risky.
That and Big Papa was both like that, like in Juicy, like you know what I mean? Like it's
but
you're not
still-
just going to go up in the club dancing to those records. But when you go to get to More Money, More Problems, it's a straight up shiny suit.
But that's the thing. It's not about going in the club dancing. It's at what point are these songs able to be played in the Volvo with your white mom? And Missing You is a song that can be played in the Volvo. In the Volvo with your white mom. Missing You.
Why can't they have a Suburban, cuz?
It's not a Suburban, it's a Volvo. The old one.
Okay.
With the holes in the
I see a
headrest.
lot of the Suburban. Go ahead.
That's now though. So up until that point, it's like you ain't want no Biggie album in the car with your mom when you was a kid. So that song was like that was the gap that got bridged.
See, I don't know though, because like white people love Wu-Tang too. You know what I mean? And Wu-Tang.
No, you had to be a culture. You had to be a cultured white person to love Wu-Tang. You had to be one of them. You had to appreciate. Right. You had to appreciate the culture.
No, you didn't.
Nah, they love Wu-Tang, and they never sold it as being nothing more than who the hell they was. And they like that's like the Mandingo syndrome. Like you know what I mean? Like the white woman that was like, ooh, he's just so black. I love him. That's why they were really intrigued with Wu-Tang.
But you're not going to see Wu-Tang at the Grammys performing.
I was going to say that. I've never like.
Yeah, they're not going to do that.
Yes, you could.
But have they done it?
No, could
have any of them ever done it? They could have been done it, but they never have.
Well, they went on a tour with Rage Against the Machine. That was the big thing with them. Like, they were that was, you know what I mean? They were on tour with Rage Against the Machine.
Tours, but I'm talking about
that's great.
But
industry-wise.
Now, I will do this. Like, they have some features on a bunch of commercial music. But far as them actually ever crossing over commercial, even in their individual career,
crossover commercial. Like
that's what I'm saying, though. And they still got the respect, though.
Right. I agree.
But I feel like they
didn't compromise. Is what I'm saying.
Because I mean, they're like one of the only groups that could put out a whole album and not have not one hook on the whole entire song.
True.
You know what I mean? So they were a completely different type of group.
Because you got 13 verses. Like this, ain't no room for a hook.
Nah, I mean, like
Ain't got no.
it was unapologetically black, and that's what it truly was. Like we wasn't trying to. They never were trying to impress them, and that's why it's stood the test of time. And when you see these rock and roll heads, love Wu-Tang, they always reference them because again, they didn't play to the mass. They just played to whatever the fuck they was on. You know what I mean?
But they also didn't invite them on stage with them.
But you know what? If we look back in the day, let me plug this right quick. Look back in the day at all the groups back in the day. Everybody that was in the culture, everything they did was about the culture for the most part. I'm talking about like Far Side, Boot Camp Clique. I'm talking about Black Moon. You know what I mean? Like anybody that was out back then busting them. Everybody that was out back then, no matter what it was something about the culture. Even if you talk to a girl, like even LL and them, if you talk to a girl, it was a girl that was in the neighborhood or around the way or still something to do with the culture. Everything was culture based. And I think now it's just about music. It's about money. It's about cars. It's about other things. And they're getting away from the roots of the culture.
Nah, but you stay within the roots of the culture. You want to keep it real. You're gonna stay broke.
Right. Well,
but I think that's the thing. Hip hop was never supposed to be about money.
Underrated.
It was never supposed to be about money, ever.
It was the love of hip. It was for the love of hip hop.
Because one of the greatest songs of all time is called "Paid in Full."
Right.
By one of the greatest lyricists. The thing is, it's the idea of being relatable. You know what I mean? And that's where it lost sight because you would have your Public Enemies, you would have your Wu-Tangs, you would have a Sir Mix-a-Lot, you would have an MC Hammer. There's different people that would relate to different aspects of the music, of the culture, which lost its way once the money really started being super big and people start figuring out how to really just get to it. So I think like what Boogs was saying, like money, I think money a lot of what really killed, you know what I mean? Because now everybody's just going for a hit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we had the great, because so many of the old school songs are so relevant today because they were just natural stories about life. Your children's stories,
real.
Your Fuck the Police is still relevant. Like we're on this same weekend, Fuck the Police is still fucking relevant to now. Sound of the Police is still relevant to what's going on today. Like, you know what I mean? So now they just talking about all the imagery and all the shit that's on Instagram. Like that's the kind of music we listen to now. Instagram, Facebook music.
In your town. All that back then still hit today. All of it still relevant. Now you got
the money.
F up some commas.
Yeah, but look,
I'm in a new Bugatti. I can't relate to that. I don't got no Bugatti.
Yeah, but it continued to evolve because when they
sorry, you can't relate to that player.
No, when they first started rapping,
I ain't got no Bugatti.
It was based on the DJ. It wasn't even the rapper. It was the DJ who was and you were just bigging up your DJ, right? So they weren't even talking about anything.
Yeah.
And then they move on. Then they just start rapping about a bunch of nonsense. Then even just putting words together.
Yeah.
Right. Then we started saying, okay, let's start talking about something. Right. Then we start talking about a little bit of something. But now, if you're going to talk about something, you got to talk about things that make sense. You can't just constantly talk about the struggle. You got to talk about what you want. So now we're going to talk about I'm getting paid, I'm getting money, even though it may not be true at the time, right? But that's something that you're striving for.
Or you're just talking about what's relevant at the time, like what's going to sell. Let me talk about what people want to listen to.
Yo,
you know what I mean?
no
matter what that is.
Now it's about popping pills, passing out.
But that's what they're doing, though.
But that's
like, all right, passing out. What was that designer song about them? What was the method behind that? That panda. What was all that about? What was
in the bad part? I don't know what the fuck the song is about, but the shit.
That shit rocks.
Right.
It do. I wasn't gonna say that, but I'm cool with it.
But
like when it goes on, I'm like, that fucking song is stupid as shit. But
every song have to have a meaning behind it.
Nope.
Yes,
no,
it should.
No,
if it did, Drake wouldn't have a career.
It does.
The
light skin attacks have started.
The fifth member of Dipset, but you know what I mean? But nah, here's the thing.
Most people don't even know there's four.
Like, at this point, the thing is, like, we always had dance songs and hip hop. Like, that's why we get so like we got so many hip hop purists that forget, like, we had the Humpty Dance. You know what I mean? We had all types of songs where people would just have the jingling baby. You know what I mean? Like, where people just dancing and having a good time. You just have
Rob Bass, all of them. Yeah,
Yo,
yeah, you just
Jingling
had
Baby
balance.
knocks too.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? But you had
That's
songs about just having fun, but it was more relatable because that's what it was. You know what I mean? So like,
It's more relatable because we wasn't old.
But see, even like
is that what it is? So we
Right.
so we
Yes.
seasoned hip hop.
We old
nah.
as fuck.
Yo, I think that
Hip hop's 50, and it's less than 10 years older than most of us. We old as fuck.
Facts.
Right.
No,
That's- I
it's-
think-
yeah.
so. Like timeline wise, I personally I feel like people that were born like 73, 74 literally live like the best lives. Like you grew up with like half hippie, half Black Panther parents. You had like the
My shit's good.
outside.
I was born '79. Fuck that.
That's what I mean. Like, nah, we still had dope lives. But it's like for that genre, like your cousin, for instance, like Bub, like to grow up and be 18, 19 in like 93, 94. Going to college in like 95. Like shit like that. Their lives
Still
were
have Freaknik.
that's what I'm saying. It's just there was like a different type of culture that they really don't have to worry about now. Like now you can just throw the fucking world away. Like it's just
Ran the world.
Yeah,
So
just
those-
ain't got no-
throw the shit
that-
away,
that-
fam. It's just
That's the statement from a non-parent.
nah. I have no faith in society anymore.
Can't throw the world away. I got 3 kids under 12.
Three.
Take them with you.
Me too. I ain't throwing me
Mar-
or them away. Like,
Mars is a great place, fam. I'm ready to
Yo,
go.
why don't you move to Mars? Me and my fours, we chilling here on Earth. We gonna live it up. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I just think like hip hop. Like, nah, I think hip hop. Like, I do listen to some of these young kids. I think they have some shit.
I do too.
I'm not that cornball that's like, man, this shit just sounds terrible. I like.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
little baby. I like Little Dirk. I like
Yes.
all the little.
Rocks.
Like, you know
There's a
what I mean?
couple.
Which are
Not
all
little,
little
yeah.
variations of
He said that off the lyrics.
the Migos. You know what I mean? Like the Migos.
But see, nah, they got some
Like,
questionable songs too,
I
though.
like Future.
They got some questionable
Nah.
songs too,
Nah.
though.
Nah, we
We
can't. I
don't
can't-
have
We
questionable
didn't have
songs.
questionable
Nah.
songs.
All right.
Who's your
sorry.
favorite rapper,
That's
Bugs?
the problem.
can't-
now.
I
I don't
can't
even
stand
have one
Migos.
right now. I don't even have one.
Who
Of all
was?
time.
I don't even have one. Real talk.
You never had one?
Yo,
Who was your last
Actually,
favorite
no.
rapper?
Migos.
The only closest thing I had to a favorite rapper back in the day was Biggie and Mace. That was it.
They ain't had no questionable songs?
But listen,
Because Biggie said he'd get somebody's dad some head over some good coochie.
well, that's the Richard Pryor joke.
Nah, listen.
I don't
Don't
care. He
matter.
ain't have to put it on wax.
I don't mean
Right.
question. Well, I wasn't like even talking about questionable and like that. Go ahead, finish your statement, bro. Go ahead.
The craziest Biggie line is, "Don't you know my nigga Gutter used to kidnap kids,
Yep.
fuck them in their ass, throw them over the
Throw 'em
bridge."
over the bridge.
That was the fucking questionable line. So they
He said it like it was
And
a
that
flex.
song is dope
Yeah.
as fuck.
right, right. What's beat?
It
You know what I mean?
is.
But when you really think about it as a parent now, we like, yo, what the fuck? Like, and then the stage of pedophilia and the ages of surviving R. Kelly. Like, you know what I mean? All that shit
Yeah.
is like,
Yo, or his song, even though it's in the title, but dead wrong. Half that song is straight dead wrong. Like he's saying stuff that you like, really?
right.
Yeah.
NWA had Automobile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give you a slick song that's really nasty that people don't even pay attention to. That Hey Y'all shit, where Andre just saying like, you know what I mean? Like, just went to my, you know what I mean? Like, just went to my daddy. Don't want to meet your daddy. Like, he's just talking about knocking off the chick.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like hip hop
Yeah.
is slick, and that's what
but that's-
you know what I mean. Like, it's always been like that. Like,
But even that, like that shit
I wanna
was
meet
so
your mama.
commercial. They wasn't even paying attention to
gonna
the
make you
lyrics.
come
man,
on.
make you calm up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
They weren't even paying attention to the lyrics no more. They just like, oh, we fucking love
Say
this.
that, yeah.
This is great. They was performing that shit. They were performing that song in Hershey Park.
like,
No, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong.
I'm pretty sure there's a kids bop to that. I'm sure
yeah,
there's
shout
a kids bop.
Yeah.
Just want to see your comma.
so
Good job,
so
Susan.
we
Play that in Bobo.
So do we think like a lot of the old kids is better though that these young kids get more money than the like the pioneers, or is it just because it's different? Like the music's so boastful that we're the only, like, it's the only genre where we don't really pay homage to the old heads like we're supposed to. And I think
But
that's
you
where
know-
the bitterness comes in.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's both, because this is the thing. It's like I ain't gonna say I would be bitter, but I would feel some type of way. Number one is the fact of everything that we tried to get and do and take it to the level we tried to take it to back in the day. These kids come with what we feel is not even what we used to do, and they're beyond where we are. They're being compensated more for the craft that we started, but they're not even doing the work. They're not even lyrical like we was. They're not even for the culture. They're not doing it for the love. They're doing it just to be out here, just to have this and have that and buy this and buy that. I mean, I would feel some type of way too. But the second thing is this though. It's the lack of respect. Because how many of these youngins, I don't care for the Migos, the little this, little that, little that. How many of them actually pay respect to any of the old heads that came from?
Because listen, I disagree. I think that a lot of these young guys that rapping now do actually respect the game a little bit more than you're giving them credit.
Yo, hold on.
Because like, why would you do something that you don't like? Like, yo, to really be successful in hip hop, you got to sacrifice a lot, right? So why would you do that to yourself if you don't love it?
Fame.
Nah, this is.
I just feel like
you want a generation that will cuss out somebody's grandmom to throw props to another rapper. Like, that respect shit is damn near out the window.
But what doesn't make sense is hip hop is based on saying that you're better than the next person.
Right.
So why am I going to big up somebody that came before me? I'm better than you. You're whack. Your time's over.
That sounds better though, because people going to want to listen to that more so than anything, right?
Right.
Your time's up. Popping that shit like that.
Right.
They might be fired. You know what I mean?
But then you got them same dudes of like, who inspired you? Oh, Prince and Michael Jackson. You a rapper, but Prince and Michael Jackson is your inspiration. You don't hear it in the music. So it's
you don't hear other rappers' inspiration in the music either. So why even?
But I think that in the last maybe say like 15 years, that's kind of where people stop saying, you know what I mean, these dudes were the greatest. These dudes were fucking amazing. What they were accomplishing was great. It's like the last 15, they're just like, I don't know the niggas. Tupac, who? Like, fucking, he ain't shit.
But why would they? Like, who? They don't listen to that.
But this is the thing. If you came up, like, even in the era, like, okay, how many times you heard Jay-Z give props to anybody from back in the day? A lot. He did a lot.
After he was huge.
A lot.
But
even putting it in the lyrics. Yeah. Well,
I mean, here's the thing. It's a boastful music.
Yeah.
And I think people acknowledge some people. So I think people do in certain times, but also you're also still a competition, and we know it's a testosterone kind of driven music. Like it's sad. Like even the women now, like all the women are just geared their music strictly to like selling sex, which is sad because I think they're back in the day you had
that shit's
a
amazing.
variety of different women.
Nothing sad about it.
Back in the day you had a variety of different women. Like who? What was the variety of women back in the day?
You had your Queen Latifahs, your MC Lights. You had your
Queen Latifah said she was wearing booty shorts because it was crazy hot.
No.
So that's.
But even during that time, like you know what I mean, like you had your yo-yos and you had
yo-yos,
Moni
Loves.
You had your, I'm talking about even in the '90s. You had your Lauryn Hill. You had your Little Kim, your Foxy. You had Eve all around that same different time, like Eve. You know what I mean? So like, though, like Kim was selling the sex, Foxy was. I'm with these type of dudes. I'm with these mafia dudes, and then Eve's with the Rough Rider type dude. You have Remy. You know what I mean? So, but now there's strictly just all sex. Like you know what I mean? Like
and that shit's amazing. I have no qualms with that shit.
But it's also damaging because we have daughters.
They don't listen to that. Mine don't.
Mine don't. Mine thinks K-pop's the greatest shit ever. Like you know what I'm saying?
My oldest ones do, so I can't say that they don't. My oldest two do.
But that's the money aspect of it is what took away the consciousness of a lot of this music to me, like because everybody's just selling and making the money. No,
because then you start rapping conscious. You get a rapper out there right now rapping like Queen Latifah. She ain't making no money. I don't want to hear that.
Nobody gonna hear it.
That's my point.
I don't want to hear
I think that's the problem.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's completely different now. That's what
every time Megan shake her ass on TV, somebody like, you should listen to Rhapsody. I don't want to hear Rhapsody. I don't listen to Megan. I watch Megan.
But
I ain't trying to listen to that shit.
I actually listen to it too.
I bet you do.
What's the one song you think about?
When I hear what? When I what?
When you hear Queen Latifah, when you think about
Yeah,
Queen
you and
Latifah,
ITY.
You and
what's it about?
Unity.
What's it about her? Right.
I ain't never listened to that song to tell you what.
Oh my God.
I heard the
Yeah, like
Man, many times that song used to come on Rap City.
I watch videos. When videos is on, I ain't listening to that shit. I'm not like, I'm not breaking that shit down, rewinding. What she say?
When you listen to
I think-
what was it about? She was
It depends. It
her
depends.
skill set was crazy.
Her
She
shit
was
was
diverse.
like,
She was diverse.
this nigga need to stop cheating on me and just be a family.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Am I lying? Am I lying?
Erica Badu, who you talking about?
Erica Badu ain't rap. She ain't rap, so she don't count.
Yo, Steve, that was close to miseducation. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like.
But Missy, you know what I mean? Like,
On the
you had
score, she
Vibes.
was just rapping, yo. She was just rhyming on the
Right.
score. She wasn't talking about shit.
She was rapping and singing. She was killing shit.
Yeah, but she was just rhyming though. Like when she was rapping, she wasn't talking about shit.
She was.
No, she was like, yo, I got a vocabulary, and I pulled out a thesaurus, and I'm hitting you with words. She wasn't
After all
saying
my
shit.
logic and my theory, I'll add a motherfucker so you dating the niggas can't.
Yeah, that would be the only line that I would ever say, quote by Lauryn Hill. Other than that, it's just a bunch of words.
No, PJ, because I heard you saying, care for me, care for me.
Yeah, that's his education. His education is fire. Yo, like I said, she's like, yo, I wish this Marley boy would quit cheating on me.
I mean, what about
That's it. But you go from a Lauryn Hill to a Glorilla. So you go from miseducation to
That's
F and
a
F.
huge gap, bro.
Yeah,
It doesn't
Because
matter.
we've been out of
Big
school
blow,
for 20-some years, and that's a
doesn't-
20-year gap.
So where
There's
you-
a lot of
That's it.
music
You
that came
go
between
go
that.
from two.
Female, what? All right, you go from Nicki. That's the only one you left out. Nicki and Cardi. That's it.
But you got to think though, music isn't always about telling a story or telling. Sometimes it's just the vibe.
Yeah.
And
So
if they
yeah.
got a vibe,
What's
if they
that
got a
vibe?
and they can make
Light-skinned
money.
Canadian has a career.
What's that vibe?
It's just like it could, whatever.
What's
whatever
the
they
Glorilla
whatever
vibe?
with their music.
What's
Hype music,
I
just street
fool
music.
with Big Blow.
That's what's going
Don't do it
on.
like that.
That's
What
what's
is
going
what
on
is
with
it
her.
about her though? What is it about her that everybody's on all of a sudden?
I like
Production.
I like her authenticity. I like her voice.
Yeah, same.
She ain't saying nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She ain't really,
So
what's
what's authentic with somebody that's not saying shit?
That's a good point.
Yeah, that ain't a good point. Don't agree with that.
It's a very valid question. You just said I love her authenticity, but she
But let me
ain't said
answer
shit.
though.
Let me answer.
Bro,
Let me answer that.
I think I slightly disagree. Maybe I'm a little bit more simple-minded when it comes to hip hop because I used to like that down south shit when they wasn't saying shit, but the beat just rolling. You know what I'm saying? So I never really cared always about what somebody had to say.
Nah, I
I
disagree
fool
with
with
that
Blow
too.
because like, yo, huh?
I don't think down south music wasn't saying nothing. I just think it was they were talking to
Some
their
of
region.
Some of them. No, I'm
Right,
not.
and why can't you say
down
that Glorilla's
south?
not
There
doing
were
the same
songs.
What'd she say?
It doesn't. Listen,
Let's
being
go.
authentic. Listen, being
Yeah.
authentic doesn't mean that you have a message.
Yo, fam, she sounds like one of them retarded girls who ponytail be back here in a little twisty
Yo,
thing.
okay,
I like the
okay,
hood
okay,
shit, bro.
but
That's what
nah,
it is.
let's go with that.
No,
Let's go with
I
that.
like
right?
the hood shit, bro. That's
Yo,
what it
Eddie,
is.
Let's go with that.
Eddie,
Let's say
Eddie.
that's who she is then. But
Give
she-
me a
she's being
Glorilla.
authentic
Give me a
self.
Glorilla lyric, Eddie.
I
Give
just
me a
quoted
Glorilla
you
lyric.
one.
You said,
Give me
was
one.
it
Let me hear.
authentic?
What is it?
I just
Let me hear.
quoted you one.
Give me something authentic. What is it?
I ain't gonna say it again because I don't want to play myself, but I just quote. You missed it. Like, too late. That shit
Like
like
boys
boys.
didn't Google that shit.
Read it.
So wait,
Read it off.
Read it to you like
I ain't wanna miss.
Yo, seriously.
I was high. I don't care. I ain't want to miss plays.
How you feeling right now? Little interlude. How you feeling? You good?
Yo, I'm really good. I'm good.
Okay,
We all good.
okay.
Like
I
Missy didn't
appreciate
always say
you,
shit.
man. I
She had a hot beat. She would say a lot of goofy shit sometimes.
Who?
But we consider it to
Missy.
be hot.
Missy.
Missy. Like Timberland had a crazy beat. you knew what the hook was, so like get your freak on, like you know what I mean. You just vibing, like to PJ's point where some music just a vibe.
That's what it.
And then
Get your freak
Missy
on.
would be like, and she'd be like, you know what I mean? Like she just say some random different shit sometimes.
Do it again,
Like,
Bub. Do it again.
nah, I ain't doing that neither. Like, if you miss that shit, you know what I mean? Either rewind that shit, you know what I mean? Or just, but like sometimes music is just a vibe. But I'm just talking about like it's that's another thing about hip hop that's different. Like people took pride in sounding different. Like the reason our show is each one of us, though we're fucking friends and brotherhood, all that shit, each one of us is different. That's what the sincerity was in hip hop. You took pride in not sounding like the next person, and then when somebody sound like you would call them out. That's what a lot of battles used to come from. Like, my nigga, you taking my style. Are you trying to rap like me? You trying to be like me? Now everybody's like, we all go sound like Future. We go all sound like Nicki. You know what I mean? And that's what makes that shit so trash at this point.
Because it worked, and somebody threw him a nice check and was like, "I want you to go do this."
Go listen to it though. So
go sound like as I'm saying, it's like there's certain people I listen to, and then certain shit I'm just like, I can't even tell who that is.
True, but
and I think this is
looking at it backwards though. I think it's not so much that the companies are going out looking for somebody saying, "I want you to sound like this." They're catching the vibes, right? They're seeing what's hot. And then they make they see what's hot. For example, Glorilla. So everybody right now, Memphis is hot.
Yeah.
So they're throwing money at Memphis. So anybody coming out of Memphis, they're going to throw some money at them, and then they're going to jump on it. That's the sound that's going on there.
Yeah.
That's their authentic sound. You may not like it. That's not your vibe.
You can't. I can't say that her song is an authentic vibe.
It's her vibe. It's her vibe.
It's 3 minutes and 17 words.
But hold on though. If you said that's her vibe, then you can't say nothing about Missy then, because everything Missy does is Missy's vibe.
Right.
That's her lane.
Nah, even Missy shit.
How is her vibe not authentic? She's being herself. How's that not authentic? She's being a hood John. She's being her.
Right. That's authentic. Authentic doesn't mean you're saying something.
She's authentic.
She's a young.
It just means you're being yourself.
Most
being
of
real.
them, they're kids, man.
Like
in their early
I'm
20s.
the authentic PJ and he's fake. You know what I mean?
Now what we that's where we was going with all this.
So
what's fake? Hold up, I missed that. What happened? What's fake?
You gotta rewind it. Look.
I love you, guys. You got to rewind.
Yeah, you got to do an instant replay on that one.
You gotta watch the replay of that one. But the real question goes to Steve's like what Steve said earlier. So is it just that we're old and we're out of touch with this music, or is it just the fact that we don't appreciate the music because there's just the migration that hip hop is always taking? Because when we was growing up, we used to have them same old hits that Shaw's talking about though. Someone used to be like, man, that shit y'all playing is kind of weak sometimes. You know what I mean? And then we was there, so now we at the age where we're crabby dads, and you know what I mean.
I don't think we do that because we all listen to it.
But I think when you had like a DAS effects, for instance, like. Yeah, my dad would hear.
Tell me one word DAS effects really said.
Right. What is?
Yo, hold up. No, I'm hyping that.
What is that? Like it's
Pinocchio's nose. Because I'm a super califragilistic tic-tac-toe.
Oopsie daisy. Now you got me crazy. Like it's just.
Listen, who on here just doesn't listen to none of the new hip hop? Like seriously, we all listen to it.
Nah, I got moments.
Y'all know who Glorilla is, so I don't think that we look at it like think we look at it like how they used to say, "Oh, that what y'all listen to is trash."
Yo,
we listen to these people. Like
they was listening to it too.
No.
Glorilla. Only reason I found out about Glorilla was because they said Shaq wanted to propose to her, so I looked her up. That was it.
Her shit comes on and I switch it instantly. Like I'm not. I can't entertain it. There's nothing about that song there's nothing about that song that makes any sense.
James.
I'll be sexist.
Yo, so there's nothing about her song that makes sense, but DAS effects that makes sense.
I didn't say no. I never said DAS effects made sense. I said
hyper in his nose.
That was
what
saying
was hype
like
about
that shit
Pinocchio's nose?
Right.
It's just
no. Answer the first question. What was hype about his nose?
That Joan grew when he lied, cut.
When that's hype?
Back then it was.
No, it was never hype.
So
I mean, that might be
so
his style. Maybe that's what he's into.
That might be his own, bro.
No.
So some of y'all just being grumpy old men and this.
Hold on, so
Like,
y'all mean to tell me?
just be like, yo, this is fire. It's the best
Nah,
thing
hold
I've
on.
ever heard.
Back in the day, y'all ain't used to be like engine, number 9, going down the tracks and line.
Well, of
Tell
course
me y'all ain't
you
listen to
line,
that.
but it's-
We ain't got shit
Y'all
else
ain't
to
used
do.
to say it though, did it?
Yo,
We
I
ain't
Tell
said
me
got
y'all
nothing-
ain't
we ain't
used
nothing
to
better to do.
I
All
said
right,
that
but
shit
y'all
in
used to
first
sing
grade.
it though, right? I
I
think
seen that
y'all
shit.
sung it.
Hold-
I said
Y'all
that
ain't
shit
know
in
no.
first grade,
Y'all
right?
sung it. Y'all
Nope.
sung it.
'Cause
So,
wasn't
I
And
don't-
first.
guess what? If it came on in your car today, you probably still be listening.
So let me
to it.
ask you a question.
That's the
Do y'all
nostalgia.
Hip-hop
think that
style
there's not
practice.
like what female rappers right now do you really think are lyricists? Like current female rappers?
Raps.
Let me ask that question. Like true lyricists, like they can spit.
Armani
Remy?
Caesar.
Remy? I said
Remy
Remy.
definitely can spit.
Oh,
Papoose.
But I'm talking about like newer, like you know, like Megan Thee Stallion. Y'all don't think she can rap? Because I heard some songs.
She
that I
tries
listen
to rap. She
No,
I
she
heard
has.
some songs
She
that was
can.
pretty
She
good.
can flow.
But
she
here's
can
the thing,
flow.
I think-
She ain't, like,
I
but
think
She has a
I think
flow.
there's a lot of people who can
I'd rather
rap
watch her
if
than
they
listen to her.
if
I mean,
they
of course,
weren't making.
always. You know what I mean? But I think Cardi can spit. I think Nicki can spit. I
I
like
Cardi
them.
can't rap.
So maybe it's something about Cardi. Maybe it's more
Cardi
so
can't
Cardi's.
I think Cardi got a good voice.
That's
Cardi
what it
got a
is.
good voice.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Cardi can write some shit.
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you say ride or right?
No, Party. Megan's
Oh,
boyfriend
Party.
writes for Cardi.
He wrote WAP. That's what's crazy to me. Like when I seen this nigga wrote WAP, I was like, how the hell did you just get in the mindset to just start saying, yeah, I'm about to rap. Oh, wet ass pussy from my chick.
I mean, I don't know. I could probably write a song about some wet pussy though. I probably could if I tried.
Oh, from the woman's perspective, you know what
I
I'm saying?
mean, I know how that shit make me feel, and I'll just be like, yeah, nigga, this make you feel like that. So yeah, I can do that.
So when Saucy Santana put Booty out, how did y'all feel about that? We just
Never heard that song.
I never heard it.
No,
Who is
don't
Saucy
even,
Santana?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
He's a gay
Who is
dude.
I know what you're talking about, but I never heard
I
it.
know. I don't know the song.
It has,
I
it has
don't
the
know.
edit of Beyonce's Crazy. What's the first joint? The Crazy, not the no. What's the first joint? That shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, I
he
never
has
heard
the
that.
song called Booty.
I
Yeah.
don't think I know the song.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So the music evolved because like society evolved. So you know what I mean? And it's gonna be more acceptable because we live in a society where we are.
Yeah.
We have, you know what I mean? Trans.
I don't like the way it
you know what
evolved,
I mean?
though,
LGBTQ, like,
Nah,
why?
but that's I don't think. I
Because
don't think
no,
that's,
I definitely feel that everybody's included. I'm not. When I said that, that was like when you were saying your point LGBTQ. That had nothing to do with that. When I say I don't agree with that, when I say I don't agree with it, my thing is, I guess some people, and then this is another riff, and it's a personal one of mine. So if you want to throw the arrows, it is what it is. Even the way they dress now, though. Like hip hop used to have a standard. It always had a dress code. Like, you know what I mean? Well, in a way, it did.
These niggas dress more like Curtis Blow than the motherfuckers in our area.
not baby diapers.
Motherfuckers
I'm
had
just saying.
spaceship.
They dress a lot more like the originators than they did in our
I
day.
ain't grinding
This whole-
for that. They pants are the same from the 80s. They wear them Davy Crockett hats.
Man, no sir, we did not wear them tight pants like that, man.
We're in the
No,
90s.
it
But
was
before
happening.
us, when you look at them,
No, we're in the
when you watch
baggy
Breaking-
area,
Breaking-
Eric.
When you watch Breaking and Crush Groove, them old
Oh,
heads
this
wear
shit
some
was
shit. You was like, damn,
Yeah.
these niggas is dressed like settlers. Like, you know what I'm saying?
All the way up to probably like
Yeah.
to mid to maybe some of the late 80s, jeans were still pretty tight.
Very tight.
Yeah, I
Watch
agree.
watch the NWA video.
Yo,
Yeah, them,
All they pants is
can't
tight.
get with it, man.
man,
Snug ass
They just wasn't skinny. But them
Yeah.
shits wasn't baggy.
Yeah.
Nah,
they was walking together because they couldn't stride long because them pants wasn't no resistance. Because if they would have strided too long, they might have had a rip. Like, you know what I mean?
Watch Express Yourself in them slim ass 501s they was wearing.
Like, Bugs, you forget before us, like, you know what I mean? We was little kids, the culture was different. So these kids have a lot of that same shit that they doing. Like, I can't grind them up on that. Stop being an old dad.
Yo, I can't, bro. I can't.
So when your kids listen to music, are you that dude like, I don't want to hear that shit in my car?
No.
All right.
No, so here's my thing. When Von's kids are around me and they listen to whatever the fuck they listening to, like my question to them is always, what are they saying? Like, explain to me what this song is about.
Shots that day.
Not just because I want to. It's
that old man. You know what I mean?
because not. It's. I think that for me, it's not just you nodding your head because like production is great. What's the person saying? Like, can you break down a song? And I think that's something that we were able to do.
No.
But
Shy,
you could do
what did
that
you
with
listen
some
to?
songs.
What did you
There's
listen to
always,
growing up?
think about Nori.
do you mean?
What was Nori really
What
saying?
did you hold on?
A lot of the shit
Hold
that
on.
bang.
What did you listen to? What did you listen to? Like, you know, through when you were like teens,
Nas.
mid-teens, early teens.
Nas.
I was listening to Far Side, Black Sheep, De La Soul.
That's all you listen to.
For the most part, I
So
mean,
you know we
hip hop
knew
wise,
you
yeah.
then, right?
Hip hop wise,
I'm just saying, like, I'm just saying, like,
because not it was
I
it
used to
wasn't.
spend it out at your crib, cuz.
No,
Yeah,
it
I
wasn't.
mean-
That's what I'm saying.
I'm
But
just
hear me. It wasn't a thing where it was by choice. Like Vaughn controlled the music, so
Yeah.
I had to listen to what he was listening to, and that was his shit.
No
So
limit
whatever-
was Bond shit.
So that's what I'm saying. So I had to listen to whatever Vaughn was listening to, and that's all I was listening to in that era. Like late elementary, going into middle school. That's all I heard.
Nah, older.
You sound like a victim, Sean.
What was you listening to?
listening to the same music.
What was you listening to when you started to actually be able to listen, break down music, buy your own music? What was you listening to?
The same thing we always listen
Yeah,
to.
I was listening to.
That ain't true.
No, I was listening to Pac, Biggie.
No, I'm talking about Eddie. So that
What?
we all listen to. He said no, because you said what we all listen to, but I think we all have.
We all
variations.
typically listen to the same music.
But we
am I
were
wrong?
all
I don't
listening to the
agree.
same music.
Did you listen to?
Typically,
Man?
overall, we like.
I
So
did.
for me, listen, like in high school, like DMX, like you know what I mean, like Jay-Z, like we listen to the same shit. It's just that everyone had other extra shit that they might listen to the side that they're into, but we typically listen to the same stuff.
No,
I'm just
you
saying,
listen-
like, a lot-
you listen-
every-
you
all
were
music
listening
I
to the
listen
same
to, I
group.
can't
You just
just
had
break it
people that
down.
you like the most. Just like there's people that you gravitated towards, but you're listening to the same collective of music because that's all
Right.
pretty much we had.
I'm just
Like,
saying,
it's
I
not-
can't say I
it's saying
can
the
break
same
down
thing.
every single lyric of everything that I listen to. It
Hell
just
no,
it wasn't
again.
something that.
I ain't got time
No,
for that
I'm not
shit.
saying. No, I'm not saying break down every lyric. I'm saying, do you understand what you're listening to? Do you know what they're saying? Are you?
And what I'm saying is
Cognitive
no.
to what's
that
happening.
wasn't always That wasn't always the case.
That was
I'm not
the
saying.
goal.
I'm not saying always. I'm saying period. Like it's almost a.
And then
It's-
there were times that I did know what they were talking about, but it didn't matter.
But you knew what they were talking about. So that's what I'm saying. Like for me, when I heard it was like a TLC
You literally
song.
just said he didn't know what they were talking about. You told him he did. Wait, calm down, stop, pause.
What?
Wait, because I think
Y'all worry about me.
no, Cuz just said that he did. PJ just said that he didn't know what they talk about, but it didn't matter. And he was like, you knew what they talk about. That doesn't even make sense. Like, listen, Cuz it
All right,
doesn't
so-
matter. Everybody's into whatever they're into. It doesn't, everything doesn't
Check this
always have substance. That's the word I'm trying to say.
Cool.
PJ said that earlier.
So
It's
with
a
that
ball.
being said,
You know what I mean?
so we'll do it this way, so we can see what the mind of the Q really is for this rap topic. We're gonna go around with everybody real quick. Everybody get their 5 favorite rap artists of all time,
Oh,
hip
man, I
hop
don't
artists of
wanna
all
do
time.
that.
Yeah, because it'll let you know. It'll let you know
kinda-
what you was listening to. What you was listening.
You're right.
Let's go let people
Let's
know.
go. You're
Go
right.
ahead, PJ.
I don't have 5, but I can give you
Just
maybe
give me 5.
4.
It don't matter.
I don't have 5. I got Ghostface number 1. Doesn't make sense half the time.
That's true.
Is what it is. Jay-Z, Pusha T, and Conway the Machine. Those are my top 4.
Why don't you got 5? Curious.
I don't know. I had
Just
3
don't-
for the longest.
You just don't want to have 5. You're like, yo.
I don't. There's not a like. I used to say like Common used to be on my list, but then he just kind of lost me at some point.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like I got 4 at this point.
What you got, Bugs?
The usual suspect. I got Pac, Biggie, Nas, M, and L. That's it.
Boo. Your list is
You're
whack.
a
Yes.
very huggy person. You got
Yeah.
Eminem. And if a chick get on your nerves, you got Eminem to throw in the trunk.
Let I'm good to go.
What you got, Eddie?
So like, I got the typical 2. I got Pop. I got Jay-Z. I like Nas. know what I'm saying? Secretly, I was told that Nas is my number one, but I'll be running from it. But that's another story for another day. I like T.I. was my dude back then. I fooled that guy. As a matter of fact, my third and fourth was just gonna be any down south thing that was hot around there. I love like 3 6 Mafia. I love UGK. Like I love all that shit, yo. Like that down south shit was my thing, yo. Like so that's it for me, man. Now we're talking all time or at this moment. 'Cause I have a different set.
Just your guys, period. Just your period.
Okay.
Just your period.
Okay.
What you got, Shock?
Did I say Biggie? I forgot to say Big. My bad. I forgot to say him.
Nah, so I'm
It's real hard.
No, I'm not thinking. I'm just looking at traffic. It's outside.
He about to go play in some traffic.
Fuck what y'all talking about. I'm about to drive this car.
My bad, people.
That's straight disrespectful, man.
It's not. It's just. It's fucking. It's right there. So I'm like, just.
Y'all bored me.
We right here though.
Fuck y'all, man. I don't give a shit. So, it's Outkast, The Roots, Big J, and probably Eminem fifth. I like stories.
So I got Redman, Sean Price, Sada Baby, motherfucking, and I ain't even gonna lie because like I can only go by like right now. I gotta throw BFB the Pac-Man in there because that nigga's funny as fuck. And like number 5, I would just be like, I don't know. I feel like PJ. 5 is too hard right now.
Yeah.
I'll go with them 4 though. Cause I'd be cheating to say like Biggie or Jay and them because like nah. Cause plus to be honest with you, I don't even listen to a lot of rap music right now because I went through that phase where I was tired of giving people money to tell me how they spend it. So, yeah, like I listen to a lot of singing motherfuckers and shit with guitars in it.
Yeah, for me, it's just Nas, Reggie. Yeah, like
Betha.
I'm not in a,
Betha.
Not Betha.
Yeah, don't forget Betha, cause like if you would say 5 and not say Betha, we have to turn this shit off. We'll be back tomorrow, y'all.
I'm in a real space too. Like I listen to a lot more like just music, like you know what I mean, like different genres of stuff. So like where I'm at now, but like it's Reggie, but like I listen to Reggie still all the time. I listen to Nas still all the time. Probably I do listen to Wu. And then that's probably it. Like for me, just listening. Like for the young boys, like I fool with Little Baby and the Migos because I really like they shit. Like you know what I mean? 'Cause I think that.
Oh wait a minute, hold on.
I like both of them and Moneybagg. Yo, I really.
Yeah, like Future's
Cool
number
with
5.
guys, yo.
Yeah, like,
Oh yeah, Future's. Yeah.
yeah,
And don't forget about Big Blow. She out here
every time. And you know what?
Y'all say Gorilla.
You gotta throw ASAP in there too. I don't listen to chicks rap, yo. Like, I mean, I'm sorry. Like, I don't listen to them rap. And
that ain't sexist.
But y'all call me sexist.
And Glow don't have
He
nothing
said
I
he ain't
wanna watch.
even entertaining push and play. But I'm the sexist one of the
Like,
two.
to be honest, like, yo, what, my man, listen. I'd rather ride around listening to somebody talk about drugs I never sold than slinging some pussy I ain't got. So yeah, like, I'm sorry. Like that's really not that complicated.
Shit.
That's funny.
Oh my god.
Like I'm just saying.
Okay, so all right,
It
to
sound
kind
like
of
we
defend
aged out of
you,
hip-hop.
because I don't want you
Sorry,
to be
we aged out.
sexist,
Did we
but
age out?
huh?
Did we age out of hip hop? Because it sounds like we in a different. A lot of us like.
No, if you're
I don't
listening
think
to
how much
current
we like-
music,
I don't think.
no, you're listening to current rappers. So like you found a liking to newer rappers. So I don't think you aged out. You know what I'm saying? Like like we listen to what's relevant now also. Just because, so we naming our, I guess this would be our top 5 all time or whatever. But like you said, like you listen to Lil Baby, like he's a very popular rapper right now, and I think we all listen to him. If I'm not, maybe except for Buzz, because he just doesn't like young rappers. You know what I mean? He only LL is the goat to him. So
God damn.
You know what I mean?
I mean, you gotta give the LL props. I'm not gonna call.
I feel
I'm not gonna call him a goat,
I'm not gonna do that.
I'm not gonna say he's the greatest.
I
but
guarantee you,
he's
I
definitely
stand by
he's
this.
definitely up there.
LL would be the hardest rapper to beat in a verse.
What?
No, I absolutely
Yo,
wouldn't.
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I
is that
absolutely
before or after Kiss changed what a versus is? Because if it's just a playlist,
just playlist. Yeah, just for playlist, not just being
just
a straight MC, but yeah,
just a playlist. Yeah, he would be up there.
Yeah.
But that nigga was a weird individual, yo.
Oh my God.
Like,
I've heard.
I gotta send y'all the John I seen the other day, just talking about the weird ass shit he was doing in songs. Is what the fuck song? They said "Hey Lover." Like, if you really look at it, it's a fucking horror film or some shit.
Yeah, it's a stalker. He talking about. I never met you.
It's a ridiculous individual, bro.
Crazy shit.
He said, "I ain't never met you. I don't even know your man." And I was like, "God, that's a nigga that's true."
Yeah, but like Lionel Richie didn't do that in Hello years before.
I was about to say, come on, man.
Same thing.
Lyrical methodology. That's all it is.
Yo, Lionel Richie though, yo, like.
I mean, he was saying something about the blind joint. That's what
I know that was creepier though, right?
that's a little creepier. Like, hello.
Nah, but what's creepy is she made that big old clay bust out of his head too. so they both was just on something on that one.
Yeah, Lionel Richie, yo. Nah, we ain't even gonna get on him on the hip hop happy birthday because we could do a whole 2 hours on his weird ass.
Way too much.
Another level.
So, does hip hop have a future?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
It has one.
Is it?
I don't know.
Back to what kind of one?
Nah, is it? That's what I'm saying. Does it have a future, and is it still black?
Longevity wise, I don't know.
Yo, Eminem didn't take it from us. I don't see nobody taking it from us.
Yeah.
But I think Eminem's pretty much the one they come to.
No. Like, here's the thing. I don't think Eminem wanted to take it from us. They wanted to give it to him.
Yeah.
No, that's what I kind of personally I put M like in the same space that I let the Beastie Boys be in their era. I put
First
M
rap
in.
album go platinum.
I put M in that same space in his era. Like it wasn't like a Kardashian making a rap album. So I give M more credit and respect than I give Drake. And
for real?
Absolutely.
Here's the thing about Drake. I think Drake is actually like the bridge between the old and new hip hop because he does celebrate a lot, and I think that gives him his pass or some shit that we tend to call corny, but like he just did that.
It doesn't make him too much of a fanboy though.
He is a fanboy.
I'm just happy. He's just happy to be here. He's just happy to be here.
Snoop said it best.
But these kids, they believe in inclusion, like, you know what I mean, and I think he's bridging a lot of that, and I think for him to be one of the hottest and been in that era to now to still be relevant and do it, I think you got to give him his credit at times. You know what I mean?
My bad.
I'm not knocking his credit. I'm just saying.
No. I'm just saying, like, a lot of people tend to, you know what I mean, like cut him down. You know what I mean? But I feel like for him to be as hot and still reach to the underground, like I think he tries to single-handedly help underground artists. You know what I mean? Mainstream, old school, and I think for him to be as big as he is, that's the difference between a lot of rappers that we were saying back in our day that wouldn't do that. You know what I mean?
I said I don't listen to females, but Controller is my favorite song by a female artist. So my bad.
I'm not doing it.
My bad. I forgot about that. I forgot that shit. I will fucking play that shit loud as fuck every time it comes on.
Yeah, right.
And that's my favorite song by a female rapper. But happy birthday, hip hop.
Yeah, definitely.
Happy 50. You only a year younger than PJ.
I was gonna say happy 50th to you.
But didn't you come up with the concept of hip hop? Didn't you come up with the concept of hip hop right before
he was out there with Cool Herc. He was like, yo, do this, do that.
Wearing tank tops and leather beanies and shit, like them netted tank tops and shit. It's come a long way. It's inspired us, and it's an influence down to our kids. I think we old.
Yeah.
I just think
Yo,
they're
if
older.
my fucking son walks up to me and says "Free Young Thug" one more time, I'ma steal him. He don't even know what the fuck he talking about. He got this shit on TikTok, and I'd be ready to jab him. Yo, like, shut up.
Well.
Oh shit. Free Young Thug.
Well,
That's fucking great.
anybody got any final comments?
No, I'm good, man.
Nah,
Fucking
I just want to say real quick, I'm so glad that we did this. I'm glad that we back. This is awesome, man. We needed this. Like, yeah, we definitely got to push out more content for y'all. We miss y'all, man. We do. This is nice.
I don't miss him. I
do. I'm gonna be honest. I just want to get famous. It's like, nah, I'm playing.
I'm be real honest.
I'm half playing.
If Joe Budden reached back out to me, I may have to.
Oh my god.
The JB you thinking about is not Joe Buttons. That's JB's. Like,
oh shit.
That's what I'm talking about. It just said JB in your phone. Wrong dude. It's not Joe Buttons. It's okay though. We understand. You don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah, that was hard.
We get it.
Yo, PJ definitely not gonna make an appearance. Look at his face.
Look at this. Now he even got the earphones on today, shot. He's gonna look over.
That's it. He eliminated a step. You see this?
Yo, it was definitely good to get back, talk about something that played an influence in our life. Again, you know what I mean? Like, sorry for the negotiation contract. Like, we really do have a contract. Don't believe that, but that's what we go stick with, and that's our story. Like,
Yeah.
It's real shit. It's just good to be back and see everybody's face, the people that follow us and each other. So it's real.
Absolutely.
Well, with that being said, all other places you could be, you decided to tune in and be here with us. As always, we appreciate you. Y'all take care. Be happy, be safe, but most of all, be you. Q out.